Guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mistonia's Hope, continuing Edward's route. Probably gonna come to the head suit with a climax and fighting his dad or whatever, I would think soon. But we're injured, so we're gonna have to get better and then stab Edmund. I don't know. But anyway. For some time after that, my days were spent resting and recovering, because we're in chapter 4, and this is when we get our ending, so. 2 days into my recovery, I suddenly thought of John and took out my pocket watch, anxious. However, wait, what does he mean by take it easy? Does he know what's going on with me? The answer came from Ed, who came to check on me that evening. I actually saw Alvin yesterday right outside your room. Just to double check, he's another survivor from that village, right? Yes, he's my childhood friend, the one person who's always been there for me. Alvin is just an alias. His real name is John. Childhood friend. I see. Oh, are you jealous? You're supposed to be jealous of Linus so we can have a throuple ending, but... I mean, a throuple ending with John, okay, I guess. He muttered to himself, then turned his eyes to me, although we know John's in love with us, but he has never made a move or made any kind of thing. And it's really weird because I guess we... Listen, you set us up with the Lucas and the Alfred ending, right? You set us up with that. I would have thought we would have got one in Linus's because that's where Edward was being like, I'm going to take her home with me and how dare you keep her and everything. And the closest we got was really that ending where Linus is dead and Edward's upset about it. And then we're imagining Edward and he knows that we are, you know what I mean? That's the closest we kind of got to a weird thruple kind of ending or a love triangle fighting over me kind of thing. And that was it wasn't as sexy as the other one. The other one was this is a bad ending. Shit, no, this is great. This is the best one. But, but I just don't feel like we barely spoke to Linus the whole the entirety of Edward's route. So I can't see Linus showing up and being I'm going to take her from you. You know what I mean? The setup was in Linus's route for that kind of an ending. So slightly disappointed by that is all I'm saying. Anyway, he muttered to himself, then turned his eyes to me. He told me to take care of you. He really seems to care about you. Oh. Ed didn't mention him again, but I had the sense that they had talked about my future. John, much like Ed, wants me to put an end to my revenge. That's probably why he asked Ed to take care of me. If that was true, then perhaps I was the only one still clinging to revenge. When that thought crossed my mind, I was filled with an emotion that hovered between solitude and sorrow. Maybe let Edward kill his own dad, because, Edmund needs to be taken out, for sure, but... A few more weeks went by, and I could feel that my body had significantly recovered. Ed said I was seriously injured. Maybe being in my demi-fae form made the wound less serious than they appeared. Sorry, my headset cord is stuck behind me, and I'm squishing it. I was no longer confined to bed all day, and I had started taking care of the cooking and cleaning myself. And today I planned to talk to Ed again, and a quiet resolve firmly in my heart. If Ed's willing to accept it, then I'll make up my mind too. At that very moment, a knock rang out at the door. Come in! There was only one person who would come by at this hour. I opened the door slowly. There stood Ed as expected, with his usual smile. Looks like you're all better now. I thought you might enjoy a little distraction today, so I brought some embroidery thread and fabric. Thank you. But you know it too, don't you? It's time we had that conversation. Mm-hmm. I've been thinking the same thing. Ed agreed. He gestured to a chair and sat across from me. Honestly, I was going to ask you if you were going to kill Edmund, just like before. But what troubled me more was how you could tell me to stop seeking revenge so easily. It made me wonder if it was because you don't know the pain I've been through. I started wondering if it was because you couldn't fully understand. Not really. Your family's still alive. Your father, your sister, and you have people who care about you. I just don't think you understand how I feel. This is where he could turn around and be like, you have people that care about you? I understand why you feel that way, but what can I do to make you believe that I really get your suffering? I met Ed's serious gaze and placed my right hand in front of his face. I'll show you an illusion using my power. It may only be an illusion to you, but it's something that truly happened to me. I still possessed Oberon's wing, meaning my power of illusion should still be stronger than usual. 8 years ago, on that very day, if you could feel the pain I experienced in my village and still say the same thing, then I would believe you. Ed's eyes widened at the word illusion, but he wasn't frightened. All right, if showing me your past will make you believe me, then go ahead. Show me what you've been through. Ed accepted my proposal without hesitation. His honesty struck me deeply, but I hid my feelings and calmly proceeded. Then, lie down on the bed. I think there's a chance you might collapse when you experience the illusion. Let me just say this first. I don't want to hurt you. I just want you to understand. Sure, got it. I felt deep, unavoidable disgust with myself when Ed lay down on the bed without hesitation. I'm about to do something that's almost like violence, and yet he isn't refusing at all. Even so, I told myself it was something that both Ed and I needed. Then I gently touched his arm as he lay on the bed. The illusion won't last long. My memory's fleeting. You'll probably only get it once you see it. Even if it's short, I'll engrave it firmly in my memory. Go ahead, Spacey. I mean, you gotta be on it. This is not just him like, oh, I'll prove to you that you don't need revenge. It's not even that. It's the, I trust you and I love you and I want to know everything that you've been through. And if this will make you feel that I'm willing to go through whatever pain you give me in this vision, like, to just, because I don't want you suffering alone in a way. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like where she's doing it like I want you to see the pain that I went through so that you'll understand and then you'll try to then you can't tell me that I can't get revenge and he's like regardless whether I can tell you you need to let go of your revenge or I tell you I'll kill my dad myself or totally understand you like it's not the oh he's not doing this with the bravado of like oh yeah whatever I'll prove you're wrong it's not going to hurt me it's not going to bother me it's not even that. He's like, you want to share this vision and what you went through. And he's going to take it like a champ because he just wants to be that close to us. And that's like, it's like a secret little love language. He's like, nope. If you want to give me all that pain and share that with me, I'm going to take it because I love you. And like, I'm curious how he's going to come out of it. You know what I mean? Are we going to go stab your dad? Because I feel like we should. I don't feel like we should let Edmund live. I mean, I understand letting Lucas live and not trying to kill him because he was forced into it. You know what I mean? I get letting Albert live because you fell in love with him. Albert? Alfred? Well, Alfred lived because you fell in love with him, right? But there was still even that, like, I mean, it's going to take me a little bit of time to kind of get past it still. Like, she still had that little fight in herself. Like, I totally love him. He still killed my family, but I love him. You know what I mean? She wasn't like, forget it. They were still, she still had that pain inside of her that she was, you know, gonna work, but willing to work through it. You know what I mean? And Linus was like, you know, you're kind of, your blood is what dictates it. But Edmund, I mean, I was just, also, there's no way we're just going to end it without at least confronting him again because we, one, need to know why Nicholas didn't kill us. And also, Edmund's like, yeah, I killed him. And you're like, I need more of this story. But maybe more of what happened between the, I mean, obviously, we know the basics. Edmund was in love with our mother. Our mother married our father, even though they were all friends, and he never got over it, even though he married Edward and Lily's mom. But it was just like an arranged kind of marriage type of a thing, or like, yeah, I guess she's good enough, and like, whatever. And he was never really in love with her. Always in love with our mom. And then when it was like the queen's like, I need you to go kill him, he's like, I. And I don't know if he struggled with it. That's the thing. Did he struggle with it? You know what I mean? Like, you loved this woman. Even if she chose someone else, were you so vindictive and angry that you were like, good, I'll kill them both because you're a douche? Or were you like, I hate the idea that I have to kill my friends, even though they hurt me by falling in love with each other? Again, not that they did it on purpose. You know, they're like, ha ha ha, let's get married and fuck over Edmund. But you're still like, I'm hurt by them falling in love and getting married inadvertently. But that's what's going to happen if you're in love with someone and they marry someone else. You're going to get hurt, you know? But like, did he feel bad about doing it? Or was he just totally okay with it? And like, did he struggle with it at all? And I mean, because, like, I mean, it's not going to give him a pass. Like, oh, well, you were upset about the fact that you had to do it and you still did it. Oh, okay. No, because, but at the same time, we've forgiven everyone else for doing what they did, their part in it. He's the one that directly murdered them, though, so that's a difference. But they were all kind of ordered and forced to do this. So if we're going to give Alfred the benefit of the doubt and be like, well, you put up the thing, the barrier, 'cause you were told to, and you had a hand in harming these people, even though, you know, you didn't like the idea, you still did it. We're going to give him a pass. Why would we not give it to Edmund? You know? Although, again, Edmund directly killed our family, and Alfred was willing to die for having done it. He's like, just let's kill the queen first, and then you can go ahead and kill me because he actually felt guilt and remorse and awful about everything he did, and we don't know that Edmund did. And like, if Edmund's guilt is like they were my friends, but they fell in love with each other, and you're still mad about that, then I don't know. You know, this game makes you think too much about like where are the lines on like when people do awful things when is their remorse and their guilt like one of those things you're like, okay, no, you know what? They feel really bad about something that happened. Where is that? Where's the line on that? You know what I mean? Because like we're forgiving people that were involved in the destruction of an entire village. But there's got to be a line in the spectrum of like, okay, there's a point where you're like, no forgiveness. Okay, now we'll forgive you. Where? Is it just because we're in love with them and want to bone them? You know what I mean? So like, I'm not saying I want to forgive Edmund, but if you're willing to forgive the other boyfriendos because you're gonna bone them, would you not offer the same at that on that same scale of like, where is the point where you're like willing to accept their remorse and their guilt and whatever about the situation? Why would you accept it from Alfred over Edmund? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And is it just different because Alfred put up a wall and then was like, yeah, I put up a wall, indirectly kind of caused people's death because of that, but Edmund literally actually killed your family directly. You know what I mean? Is it the indirect versus direct? Like, where's the line? Where's the, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's very confusing. I don't like that this game's making me think about it. Anyway. All right. Anyway, he's doing this because he's like, I want to be closer to you because he's a little sunshine and rainbows. Okay. I nodded and activated my face sight hand. Oh, he's okay. This is. A sound that wasn't quite a scream or a sob slipped from my lips, and I reflexively tried to cover it. No, wait, are we me or are we Edward? I'm thinking we're Edward inside our body. That's why the voice coming out is us, but this thought process should be him. My hand wouldn't move as I wanted it to, though, and I noticed that my line of sight had dropped significantly. So this is how she saw the world as a child. Then that sound earlier, it had to be her. As I was lost in thought, she began to run. Her eyes scanned from side to side frantically, a cruel scene unfolding before us. Are those people under that building? They were completely burned. I wanted to look away, but the scene kept flooding my vision without mercy. And then I realized something. The disfigured remains of the villagers she once knew. She witnessed all this herself. Eventually, she halted in front of a collapsed building. "Father? Mother?" Her soft murmur made it clear what this building once was. When the realization hit me, I screamed in anguish. "No, don't go, please." "Riley? Don't go." The moment I entered the remains of the building, my vision began to swim and fade. Ah! I realized she was crying when she screamed, and a soul-crushing pain gripped me. My vision slowly faded to complete darkness, and I felt her awareness disassociating, unable to bear seeing what she was seeing. That's the first time we've ever seen that vision of it. Seeing Ed tear up before he'd even woken, I realized once again just how kind he was. He must have lived a life where he was lovingly protected, just as I had when I was younger. His closed eyelids trembled slightly. "I've seen everything. I've seen the reality you carry in your memories." Look at his sad little face. They actually made his sprite cry. Oh, he's too sweet for that. I looked into his face as he slowly opened his eyes and spoke. Then I asked a quiet question. "Let me ask you once again. Can you really tell me to stop seeking revenge? Can you tell me to just endure, to do nothing, when those people are the ones who created such cruel memories?" Ed didn't bother wiping away the tears that had fallen. He reached toward my face, his hand hovering over my cheek as he gazed at me. "It's because I saw them." "Huh?" "Because of those memories. I can tell you firmly that you should put an end to your revenge, Spacey." Tears filled my eyes at Ed's response. Unable to stop listening, I let the feelings I couldn't contain come out in the form of words. Why do you keep saying such idealistic things? You saw it, didn't you? Even after seeing all of that, you still think it's someone else's problem? I should have known you were no different than... No, your memories were so vivid I felt your pain as if it were my own. I know the scars you carry can't be described with just sadness or suffering. They're far more than that. Much more painful. Then you shouldn't want to stop me." My tears fell, soaking Ed's fingers. They wet not just his fingers, but his hair and cheek, too. Edward continued speaking, unaffected. "I took your pain and made it mine. I experienced overwhelming despair. It felt like I was sinking into a cold, dark abyss, losing every part of me, even my emotions." Look at his fucking eyes. He's so adorable. But that's exactly like why he was saying you should let go of your revenge, because it's going to destroy you. Even then, what I saw was just an illusion. But it hit me with such force when I realized that was your reality. I want to free you from this darkness. Actually, it's not such a hard thing to figure out. Just looking at you right here made it clear to me. What's clear? The one thing I want to do. I just want to hold you. All of you. Even the memories from 8 years ago. What are you talking about? He gently caressed my cheek as I muttered in confusion and gave me a warm, loving smile. I don't want to leave you alone in that place with those memories haunting you. I want to take you to a future full of kindness, a bright place filled with hope. His clear blue eyes locked onto mine, and my heart wavered, yet I still shook my head. I already told you. I I can't feel love from anyone anymore. How can you talk about a future full of hope and kindness when all I see is this? It exists. I'll give you that future. I love you, Spacey. I want to share a future with you. Please, will you accept my love? Please, don't say it like that. The desperate, pleading tone in Ed's voice pulled me in, and though my heart was torn, I fought it desperately. Maybe we are getting our happy ending and we're not going to confront Edmund at all. I feared that the drive that had held me together until now would break, so I shook my head over and over. How could you? You told me you didn't have any affection, remember? Someone like you loving me, it's just so strange. Ed stroked my cheek softly as I traced my memories, trying to find a contradiction. Then he spoke in a gentle voice, almost as if to comfort me. And I've told you before that I've received affection from you. Perhaps my feelings for you had already been growing, even before I knew it. It might be more accurate to say that it was you who made me understand that this is love. You helped me realize it, and yet you don't believe in my feelings? I I knew I should say something, but the words wouldn't come. My throat was tight, yet he didn't seem impatient or upset with me. Ed looked at me with a kind, warm gaze and spoke again. This time he put his heart into every word. I love you, Spacey. If you can't believe me, I'll keep telling you until you do. We better fucking believe him, because I feel like this is the end. His eyes, as clear and serene as a cloudless sky, locked onto mine. Everything I'd been guarding inside me finally fell apart. You really are unfair. You're a terrible person. You're making me give up something I've clung to all this time. He's not really making us. I was gonna get revenge. For my family. And for everyone who died. That was my only reason to keep going. Before I realized it, you were standing in front of me, glowing with such a warm, dazzling light that I couldn't help but look. I don't want to see it. I wish I could turn away. But still, I can't help it. I love you. Once I let those feelings escape, they wouldn't stop. They spilled out again and again, completely beyond my control. Do we get a CG? Look at him pulling us into bed and holding us. How adorable. I gave in and let myself be held the moment he drew me in with his arms around my back. I love you too, Spacey. So much so that I want to wrap my arms around your memories, your pain, and your future. His embrace wasn't as gentle as when he first pulled me in. His arms were firm, steady, and so very warm. You're here with me, not trapped in the darkness anymore. You're in my arms now. Can you feel it? Yes, I can feel your warmth and your kindness as well. Both are telling me that I'm here with you. My voice trembled with tears. Ed gently pulled back and looked into my face with concern. I'm so glad. But I want to make you feel even more at ease. There are things I can't fully convey with words alone. I want to show you how I feel. Oh, sir, getting a little inappropriate. That's how I want to show you how I feel because I can't use my words. Sir, use your words, not your penis. Save it for later. All right, I'll allow it. The heat in his gaze spoke volumes, making me understand his words. See? Slutty little Edward. It didn't bother me at all, so I gently closed my eyes. It better be a kiss. I mean, I'm assuming, but, like, we deserve one. There we go. There we go. Ed carefully placed his hand on my cheek, then pressed a delicate kiss to it. That small gesture made my heart feel as if a warm flame had ignited deep inside me. I've experienced this feeling before. It's the warmth my family gave me long ago. Maybe this is what love really is. Feelings I have now are so much more intense than the ones I once had. I need more. I want him even closer. Unable to hold back the quiet impulse, I pressed my lips to his. Ed blinked in surprise, his eyes widening before smiling softly. You've given me your affection again, but I've grown so greedy. I want everything you're willing to give. Will you give me all of you? I smiled in return, glad to hear that Ed shared the same feelings I had. Sure, I'll give you all of me. So will you give me all of you, too? I want every piece of you. Your weakness, your loneliness, your love, everything. All of it. Of course, everything I am is yours. All of me. Everything I am is yours. It's almost as good as Alfred saying my life is yours. Whatever. Jesus Christ. And with that, our lips met once again, this time in a kiss that felt more intimate than the last. Oh, I'm not moaning for her, but I need more. I want you. All of you. Our lips parted with a soft sigh, but Ed captured them again in an instant. His kisses fell not only on my lips, but my cheeks and ears, too. Each one sent a warm shiver through my chest and filled me with bliss. They're about to get freaky. Fight me, you can't deny it. Oh, I'm not, no. What is this feeling? It's so warm. Oh, did we fall asleep and wake up in his arms? Oh, we did. It wasn't like any usual morning. When I opened my eyes, I found myself staring at a beautiful face fast asleep beside me. I mean, he wearing a shirt, so I don't know if we got freaky, but I just feel like we got freaky. Oh, right. Last night, the memory of falling asleep wrapped in Ed's embrace made my cheeks flush with heat. Or we fell asleep while he was kissing us, and that's just sad, poor man. His golden eyelashes fluttered softly, and in the next heartbeat, his blue eyes met mine. My breath caught in my throat. I love how he looks like he's pondering something in his sleep. Well, because the way they just use that sprite. Morning, Spacey. Good morning. I replied awkwardly, slipping into formal speech without meaning to. Ed looked calm, but then he suddenly shifted away. It's about time we both get ready. It's already late in the morning. Someone could show up any minute. Oh, yeah. Only then did it hit me. My clothes were completely disheveled. Are disheveled or not even on? Disheveled on the floor? You can take a shower first. I'll get myself ready for the palace. Look at his blush! It's adorable! Stop it! You're so cute. You were ready to rip our clothes off last night, and now you're all embarrassed? Okay. Reality suddenly hit me. Overcome with embarrassment, I quickly scrambled out of bed. Okay, obviously they just, made out a little and then passed out, but still. I don't even know how I'm supposed to look at Ed now. Are we sure? Who knows? I kept mulling over those thoughts while I took a shower. Apparently, I wasn't the only one feeling this way. Ed and I both spent the time awkwardly avoiding eye contact until we were both ready. You little nerds, I love it. I'm heading to the palace now. I plan on checking where my father is today. Hearing the word father snapped me out of my dreamlike haze, abruptly pulling me back into reality. Pull yourself together, Spacey. This isn't over yet. I closed my eyes to clear my mind, then opened them slowly, filled with resolve. I want to be by your side when you confront Edmund, so promise me you'll call me when that time comes. For sure. That's the plan. It won't happen right away today, though. I'll be back tonight to update you on how things stand. Ed walked out of the room. Just a few hours later, those words were proven wrong. Dun dun dun! Spacey, are you here? The door burst open without warning. When I turned, Ed was there. His face was etched with panic, something I'd almost never seen. What happened? I rushed over to Ed. He answered, urgency in his eyes. Father's planning a revolt. A revolt? Yeah, there's a room deep in the palace that no one but Her Majesty has ever been allowed to enter. My father's trying to seize it. He thinks that he can prove he's the rightful ruler and that the country should be his by taking that room. But how could simply entering a room prove anything about legitimacy? What kind of secret could that room be hiding? Do you know what's actually inside? That's where Ascot's been hiding. It's a secret bedroom. He's like, this was my man cave. Why are you all here? Edward shook his head. A grim expression settled on his face. I don't know. The room's existence is something only the heads of the 5 houses and the future heirs know about. But I've heard that someone who tried to enter that room was captured by the Queen and vanished without a trace. So, does that mean the room was that important to the Queen? Most likely. That's probably why Father was trying to seize control of it. I mean, Jesus Christ, I want the Queen back instead of Edmund. I'm just saying. I feel like she's the lesser of 2 evils. So you're planning to stop him, right? Yes, Al, Lucas, and Lynn are already in combat with the private army my father's gathered. I'm going there soon, but I need you to come with me. Given the situation, there's no time to have a calm conversation with Father. I plan on settling things from 8 years ago, as well as stopping his crazy actions. I can't believe the time has come so soon. The unexpected turn of events shocked me, but my resolve remained unshaken. I guess we are going to have a confrontation. Listen! It was like, we're going to have a confrontation with Edmund, and then we had that romantic moment, and I'm like, are we not going to have a confrontation with Edmund? And now we are. Okay, all right, we're back on track. Got it. Take me with you. And John, too. He should be there as well, since he's part of this. Ed nodded firmly in response. You're like, I'll text him on my pocket watch. Yes, of course. He has every right to witness the conclusion. Let's head to the palace together. 3 of us. We moved quickly from there. I contacted John through the pocket watch, set up a meeting in front of the palace, and left the room with Ed. Palace, now! Murder Edmund. Over here, Edward. We ran through the open gates, entered the palace, and made our way down the hallway where we encountered Alfred and Lucas. The sharp clash of swords rang out from deeper within, a stark reminder that the battle was far from over. House Ward's holding them back. The soldiers are holding steady, but they're having a hard time dealing with the Marquess's serious attacks. Nicholas is here too. I've only got a glimpse of his movements, but like I thought, that guy's dangerous. I'm aware. There are likely only a handful of men who can fight on even footing with him and Father. And then you shouldn't pay mind to anything else. Chase them. Lucas and I will cover you. Thank you. We must hurry, the 2 of you. Seeing how Ed directed his last statement at John and me, Lucas furrowed his brows slightly. You're gonna bring those 2 along? Yes. I don't just plan on getting to the bottom of what Father's doing now. I'm also gonna grill him about his role in Elfpeak. I'd like them, the people directly involved in the incident, to be present. They have the right to know. You couldn't stop me even if you wanted to. Yeah, agreed. Quickly following Ed's words, John and I made our declarations. Lucas shook his head loosely. I'm not going to bother trying. Do what you want to find peace of mind. I don't have the right to stop you anyway. If you've come to an agreement, we should hurry. The sounds of battle are growing distant. At Alfred's words, we all traded glances before rushing out without another word. Wings out, bitches! What are you doing? Demi-Fae powers activate! Ugh, the number of troops have decreased considerably, but we still haven't caught up to Father. Just like they declared, Alfred and Lucas were keeping Edmund's private troops at bay to back us up. Thanks to that, Ed, John, and I were able to keep running down the long palace corridors without fighting, but we couldn't find the man we sought. Oi! Edward Bernstein! Will we reach the room you mentioned if we keep going down this path? Not quite. We'll reach the throne room first. Ed! Just as Ed replied to John, a familiar sunny voice reached our ears. Linus, I'm guessing then? Okay, I mean, we didn't know. It just at you can't tell sometimes. Lynn, where's Father right now? Ed rushed over to Linus as soon as he saw him, but Linus shook his head. Yeah, I could see him behind the soldiers at first, but while I was preoccupied with fighting, he went missing. I suspect he's already at the throne. The only other place beyond that is that room. I'll take care of the remaining soldiers, so Ed, you head over there. Got it. Thanks. You're probably the only one who can stop the Marquess, Ed. And you're already heading there too, aren't you? Linus's eyes darted to me, and I nodded with the same conviction as when I'd answered Alfred and Lucas. Yeah, that said, my goal isn't to stop the revolt, but to bring the truth of 8 years ago to light. I see. For a moment, Linus looked like he wanted to say something, but he immediately wiped that expression away and ushered us along. Ain't the time for confessions, Linus. Then it's time to go. I'll be your guide, so follow me. Yeah, there are still so many of them left. We arrived at the corridor just before the throne room and our feet ground to a halt. Dozens more troops were standing in wait before the doors, which were wide open. They aren't a threat to us, right, Lynn? Yep. Well then, you two. Looks like it's time to form a united front. Yes. There's no other way about it. John and I held our weapons at the ready. Then I love how John just drops whatever folder he was been carrying. He put it in his little, like, hip sack right there. He's like, hold on. I put my folder away. He's always carrying a folder, and then all of a sudden he's whipping out where'd you put that folder, bitch? Out of our way. We charged through the soldiers that faltered at our vigor, aiming for the throne room. What? Does he have a little halo? A wind rise in rage. Throw aside all those who stand in our way. Oh no, it's just the lamp. When the way he's standing there, I was like, I never noticed what the fuck is that? I was wondering if it was something in the background, that little lamp, right when Edward's standing here. It looks like he's got a halo on it. It's kind of funny. Ugh! Oh! See? He's got a halo. It's not really, it's the lamp, but like, it fits so perfectly. I was like, that's not right. He never had a halo before. Why? But he is a little angel, so cute. Ed commanded his powers as a sylph to blast several soldiers, slamming them to the floor. Following Ed's wind, Linus's long claws gleamed as he rushed into the droves of troops. Yeah! Guess we don't even have to do anything. Right? Oh, it's a newspaper. Whatever. Still. Though John and I had charged into the fray with them, we ended up as mere spectators due to Ed and Linus's brilliant teamwork. I mean, you know John's got fucking Feywing. You know he does. Because I swear to God, you cannot tell me that you were not Oberon's vessel or something. I mean, you look too much like him, so fight me out. Like, if you don't come out being that, it's going to be really disappointing. Because, like, why'd they make you, like, look like him? But you've never whipped out your wings, if you have any, so I feel like that's going to be some, like, because you know his route is last, so. Having noticed the mood on our end, Linus grinned brightly. It's not just you guys. I don't even think Ed is necessary. I could have handled these guys on my own. So Ed, you head for the throne. Like I said earlier, all of you ought to press forward. Yeah, you're right. Nodding at Linus, Ed prompted John and me with his eyes before making his way to the doors of the throne room. I would laugh my ass off if in the room hidden back there, it's literally just Ascot chilling out, and he's like, what? This is where I hide. The throne room seemed unchanged since our last visit at first glance. The only difference was the lack of the throne's owner and the presence of two people glaring balefully at us. CG! Who knew? With Edmund! Oh! So you've come after all, Edward. Yes, I have. I'm here to stop you. Oddly enough, the clamor outside didn't filter into this place. Only Edmund and Ed's voices echoed within the vast chamber. You have done something foolish. Even if you make such a choice, the people won't acknowledge you. Their support is currently concentrated on us. Such actions will only drag your reputation through the mud, Father. You shouldn't have done this. My reputation, Are you assuming that I came here to prove that my current way of thinking is the correct one? Are you implying that I'm mistaken? Ed's tone betrayed how startled he was. His father replied with pity in his eyes. You are? I'm here to prove that my past self did the right thing. You also brought that girl because you wish to settle the past once and for all, haven't you? Edmund suddenly made eye contact with me, and I tensed up as if caught by a wild beast. Ed put himself between me and his father. That would mean you were also waiting for us so you may share what happened at Elpeak. I've already told that girl the events of that place. You must likewise be aware by now. I was the one who murdered Lewis and Florence of House Randolph, as well as their son. Oh my god, look at Nicholas! I'm sorry. You knew when they came in here, two people, you're like, it's Edmund and Nicholas. But I wasn't expecting Nicholas to be wearing assassin robes. What the hell? Sir? This is with a little mustache? Listen, this is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I mean, it's one thing when you see butlers and you're like, yeah, you look more like an assassin than a butler, and then later you're like, they're an assassin, and you're like, yeah, no, makes sense. But they made him the perfect little old man butler, and now he's an assassin with that mustache. I'm sorry, this is the funniest fucking thing in the game. I love it so much. The next moment, Nicholas, who'd been standing by behind Edmund like a shadow, spoke up in a subdued voice. My lord, please be accurate about the history you impart. I was the one who killed the Duke Randolph and his son. The Duchess flew into a rage as a result, and you ended her life. That is the full story. What? Having learned the morbid truth, my body moved without thinking, but John swiftly grabbed my arm. Calm down. They aren't finished yet. Even if you do something, you need to save it for after they've said everything. I know that. I tugged at my arm from John's grip and took some deep breaths to calm myself. Ed, still shielding me, took a moment to continue. You aren't refuting Nick. I understand that means what he says is the truth. But what you and I wish to know are your motivations. Why did you kill her family? Because the Queen told him to. I mean, I would have figured that was obvious. Maybe there's more to it, but... Edmund replied with a frosty gaze. I've no intentions of telling my reasons. Not to a single soul. The outcome's all that matters, isn't it? Oh, he didn't want to admit he was in love with my mom. That day, the 5 houses were assembled in Elbeek under the Queen's orders. Those of the other households dealt with the villagers. And Nicholas and I finished off the Randolph family with the exception of that girl. That's everything to it. What do you think after learning of this truth? What do you intend to do with me? You've done something despicable, Father. I'd like you to atone for your sins. Before anything else, I want you to apologize to her sincerely. I also ask you to devote your efforts to restoring House Randolph's honor. Ugh. Standing before the culprit who'd murdered my family, I groaned with disgust. I couldn't stop the sparks of vengeance alighting in my heart. Still, I decided to give up on my revenge and take Ed's hand. Just as I told myself that. This is why I call you naive, Edward. If you wish to make me atone for my sins, you ought to take my life. Father. Huh? To my surprise, Edmund himself suggested the outcome that aligned with my desire. She's like, I aligned with my desire? Wow, I can read. But it wouldn't be so easy. Edmund pulled the handle of his cane, revealing the blade of a sword. Also, we have to fight Ninja Nick over there. That said, I have no intentions of lying down and letting you do so. If you wish to prove that you're correct, fight and defeat me, Edward. Is that your answer, Father? Your answer is Edmund Bernstein? Indeed, I will prove that I was right. If so, I will answer with everything I have. This is kind of fucked up and sad, though. And you know what, though? I kind of like this, though. Like, instead of us, like, I'm gonna kill your dad, he's the one that's making a choice. He knows his father is wrong. He's like, you better fucking atone for this. And he's like, you're gonna have to fucking kill me. And he's like, well, shit, this sucks, but okay. You know what I mean? Like, that, oh, Edward, you poor thing. Announcing that to steel his resolve, Edward also drew his sword and settled into an offensive stance, but his eyes look so disconnected, almost like he's like, I can't believe I'm about to kill my dad. Following them, Nicholas and John held their weapons at the ready. Lastly, I gripped my knife and marched to Edward's side. If you're going to fight, I fight with you. I could no longer see the sparks that had been growing in my heart earlier. Instead, what sprouted in my heart was, if Ed's going to dirty his hands with blood, the blood of his own father at that, then I'm not speaking out of my desire for revenge. I don't want you to shoulder the burden by yourself. Because I love you, I declared, looking up at the face of my beloved. For a split second, Ed was taken by melancholy as he regarded me. But it only lasted an instant. The next time he moved his gaze back to Edmund, his eyes were already steady with unwavering resolve. Let's fight together, Spacey, to prove that we're right, and for a bright future. The end! Well, except for now we gotta read the end chapter, but you know what I mean. So we got our end chapter. We're not gonna finish it in this part because it's gonna take more than 15 minutes, but here's our happy ending. Sorta. Starting. A fleeting moment of silence filled the throne room, but it only lasted an instant. Ah! Edmund closed the distance in the blink of an eye and swung his sword. His target was me. Fucker. You don't want to kill your own son, asshole. Ah! However, Ed stepped between us in a flash and caught his blow. Why are you aiming for her? I'm your opponent, aren't I? I did it because I thought you would shield that girl if I aimed for her. And if you forget yourself in your fury, you will unmistakably leave an opening. What just happened? It was so fast I couldn't see the impact. All I saw was Ed sent flying away. He rolled over on the ground with a groan. Edmund's right hand still gripped his sword like before, but I saw that his left hand had moved away from the sword sheath. He used his sword with his right hand and wielded his power as a sylph with his left at the same time? If that's true, Edmund was a veteran fighter. I didn't stand a chance against him, but I still held up my knife defiantly. I mean, he brought a knife to a sword fight. Even if I'm powerless against him, I can at least buy time until Ed gets to his feet. I'll make it happen. Ah! Like I expected, he easily dodged my swing. Yeah, but he's going to turn his back on you at some point, and that's when you jump on him and stab. I'm not finished. The moment I saw that Edmund had evaded me, I used my momentum to keep swinging down. Ah! As my hand touched the ground, I used my momentum to twist forward and kick Edmund from a low angle. Tch! You fight like a barbarian! Yeah, well, I'm pissed off, so... Unfortunately, the kick itself didn't do much damage, but it did get Edmund to distance himself from me. You fight with no regard for art nor outcome. What motivates you to struggle so in the face of adversity? Didn't you hear what Ed said? We're fighting to prove we're right and for the future we want. This isn't the time to be choosing our methods. I will defeat you. It's that simple. I meant it as a direct answer to his question, but for some reason his eyes abruptly darkened. So, it's just like I suspected. Huh? As he stood at a slight distance, Edmund stared at me with some sort of twisted expression different from bloodlust. Oh, he's got a sad kind of face on. Florence, you won't accept me after all. I'm not my mother. I objected to Edmund's whisper, but his eyes were looking through me. They were unfocused and vacant. So, okay, I feel like that not only was he... we saw a little flashback thing with our mother or something, but I don't... Like, we knew that Edmund was in love with our mother or whatever. Because we've seen it before somewhere. It might have been in one of the little shard exploration things, right? But, like, they never really... But I don't remember if it was, like, we saw her reject him. Or if it was just, he was like, oh, in love, and then they're getting together. Oh, and he never told her type of a thing. Never got to tell her. But it sounds like now, because, again, I can't remember that. I just knew that, oh, yeah. They mentioned somewhere something we knew he was in... Well, okay. I don't think it was that. I thought... If I remember correctly, it was him being in love with someone else. And it was like, and we were like, oh, he's in love with our mom. And it was kind of an assumption we made. If I remember correctly. So, but I don't remember if in that thing he was rejected by the other person that he was in love with and we just assumed it was our mom. which rightfully so, it definitely was. But because I originally was thinking as we were going through this, like, oh, maybe he was in love with her, but then she fell in love with Lewis, and he's like, oh, okay, whatever. But now it seems like he might have confessed his feelings to her, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm in love with Lewis. Sorry, brah. And she turned him down, so that made him more mad that and hurt him more than just if he had been in love with her and was like, I'm gonna go tell her I love her. And then she's like, guess what? Lewis and I are getting married. And he's like, yeah, great for you guys. You know what I mean? Where it's like, unrequited love where that person doesn't know that you had feelings for them. Seems more like you told her and she chose your other friend instead of you and rejected you. Where like now you're being a little bit of a spiteful dick. I mean, either way, it doesn't justify you like killing them or hating them for it, but you know what I mean? Like, to think that he'd mistake me for my mother. What in the world was she to this man? My mind went to all Lily and Ed had said to me, as well as Edmund's own confessions. There's a woman father can never forget. And no, she isn't my and Ed's mother. Isn't it foolish? He still yearns for her, even after they both married other people. All she saw was father. She constantly sought his love, but he loved someone else, and it only made her heartache worse. And that's really sad because their mother absolutely loved Edmund, was like, oh, totally in line. He's just like, yeah, whatever, I guess. And it's like, at first you think you're winning because you're like, oh, the man I'm totally in love with is going to marry me. Okay, this is great. And you're like, he'll eventually like let go of that pining and fall. And then it never happened. And that's tragic for your fucking mother. Was it because I hated them? Such a simplistic notion. You're still far too naive to understand. I guess we didn't know that Edmund was in love with our mother at this point. Emotions are merely made of hatred and love. They're far more complex than that. Love and hatred aren't enough to describe it. Tangled emotions, complex and ever shifting, often lead one to act in ways that defy their innermost thoughts. Was he implying that he loved her? Did he kill her out of some distorted love? I couldn't forgive him no matter what reasons he had, but if he'd forced his one-sided feelings on her, he was even more sinister. All he knew was selfishness. When I glared at Edmund with hatred in my eyes, the air around him shifted. And also, sure, I mean, she's not wrong because he's in love with your mother, she marries someone else, and instead of letting go of the love for her, or even if he's pining away inside for her still, he had a woman who absolutely adored him. He didn't even try to give love to her at all. And like, even though it would still be kind of bullshit, because she'd be like, oh my God, I'm totally in love with you. And he'd be like, yeah, yeah, everything is great. Imagining you as Florence. Florence was our mom, right? Oh no, didn't he say Florence or something in the flashback? Whatever, anyway. And then why is she acting like she doesn't know? I thought that was in a shard thing. When did we see that? Someone will tell me, but it'll be like, it'll be so fucking far. It'll be like, we'll be in the middle of Ascot's route by the time this goes, whatever. But like, you couldn't even like try to love the woman that adored you? Like, yeah, you really are selfish and douchey. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You're in love with someone, but like eventually you kind of would learn to push that down. It's unrequited painful love, but okay, but then again, at the same time, you're like, you love someone and you're pining for them and it hurts, and eventually you let it go because, well, if it was meant to be and if it was real, then you'd be in love with each other, not one-sided. So, like, I don't think any of us have ever been in one-sided, unrequited forever. Like, that's my soulmate married to someone else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that's sad, and I feel like you might need a therapist if that's the case. Like, again, it's not like it takes a while to get over feelings for someone. Not that. This is decades later and you're still pining over. Like, that's therapy. That's when you call a therapist, which we didn't have in this time period, clearly. You know what I mean? But I feel like if you knew that the woman you married, like, we don't even know who Edward and Lily's mother's name is, but mom over here, you like, You couldn't even try to, like, give some of that love that you would have given to Florence to her and just be like, okay, I'm just going to pretend she's Florence. That's kind of psychotic and fucked up, but at least it would be like, well, I mean, at least you tried, I guess. It would be better than this, you know? Like, but you really are a selfish douche. Wow. All he knew was selfishness. When I glared at Edmund with hatred in my eyes, the air around him shifted. If that's the case, this is my only choice. If you won't become mine, then... here he comes! With a movement even swifter than before, Edmund dashed at me with one breath. Oh no, I can't dodge! I'd been stunned by his bloodlust and prepared for the worst when a golden light dove in. Look, he's all bruised and bloodied. Ugh. Like a gust of wind that was very I'm sorry. Ed slipped between the two of us and sturdily caught the blade that closed in on me for a second time. Ed! I apologize, Spacey. I won't let my guard down anymore. Please get behind me. Whispering while shielding me, Ed then resolutely faced his opponent, and now his dad's gonna really try to kill you? Because he's not gonna see you as his son, it's the man who's getting in the way of him and his lady love, who's my mother, but he thinks it's me now. I don't know. Father, aiming for her is pointless. I shall block your way no matter how many times I have to. I ask that we duel fair and square. Block my way, huh? Ed's voice returned the light to Edmund's eyes. It was like he was transported back to the present. On top of that, a smile played at his lips. He gazed at Ed as if looking at the sun. Is he happy right now? Thrown off by his expression, I tried to interpret his feelings, but I immediately shook my head and stopped. Although there is something poetic about the fact that Edmund was in love with Florence, couldn't have her, was so jealous and envious and whatever, married someone else that adored him, never gave her any affection or whatever, has this beautiful fucking shining sun of a son, like this little golden ball of sunshine, who's gonna fall in love with the daughter of the woman you adore that you couldn't have, but your son can have it. Your son can have what you never could. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because, like, a little piece of you is technically Edward, even though it might just be, like, looks and bloodline, not personality. But then if I look kind of like my mom, it's like, see? So, like, there's got to be something inside of him. It's like I live vicariously through myself. We still are going to have to kill that man because it's going to be a little creepy and weird otherwise. But, you know, can't you, like, be a little happy for your son that your son is getting something that you dreamed of? The woman of his dreams. You can have the woman of your dreams, but her daughter is in love with your son, and, like, I mean, it's not that it's not a little fucked up living vicariously through your son like that, but it's not even that. It's being like, well, I couldn't have and live my dreams, but she married someone else and had kids, and, like, I married someone else and had kids, and even though I didn't love my wife the way I should have, like, my son's in love with her daughter, and, you know, a piece of her kind of stays in our is with our family. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's still fucked up, but it's not nearly as fucked up as murdering her because you couldn't have her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to look at the lesser of the fucked ups here. Even if I understood his emotions, I didn't think it'd be useful at all right now. Meanwhile, as he faced off against his father, Ed was cloaked in such violent fury that even the air shook in his wake. If you aren't satisfied by killing her family and wish to take even her life, I will never forgive you. Just like you wish, I will stop you, even if it means dirtying my hands. Edward's voice of wrath echoed in the throne room. As for Edmund... Yes, that's right. That's what you should do. That's my precise wish. I feel like Edmund is like, at this point, being like, good, my son will kill me and put me out of my misery. And it'll be like, I'll be out of my misery. I'll be with the woman I love in the afterlife. She really won't be with you, though, because you killed her. So, like, whatever. But you'll be put out of your misery, and your son will be the one to do it. I mean, sure, if you're willing to go like that, cool. Don't fight so hard. He let out a small whisper, just barely loud enough to hear. Ed should have heard it, standing just before the man, but... It mattered not. Ed swung his sword at Edmund with all his strength. As Edmund struggled to catch the blow, yet again he smiled. Oh, that is the perfect motherfucking place. I was like, that line, I was like, that's coming to a really good place where maybe we can stop in the middle, but it. Oh. We're Edmund now. But anyway, that was perfect transition and a perfect place to stop now. So we will probably get our good ending in the next part. And then, we got a couple more parts to do the bad ends. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.